start like 2 minutes after I go live. That's just my thing. But hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. So I was thinking real quick before I get started, because y'all know, if you don't know, I'm a really energetic person. Hey, cousin, what's up? And I was like, I gotta have me like a turned song. So what's been on my mind was, what's up? I think it was Travis Porter. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? So anyway, I gotta figure out something like an intro. But these are the humble beginnings. I'm sure it'll change eventually. But anyway, I'm going to get this thing going, get it started. This is your girl, Dawn Patrice, with a Dose of Dawn podcast, a.k.a. a Dodd, short, because I'm from the South, so we cut things short, acronyms to everything. But a Dodd is a podcast. A Dot is a podcast to pretty much be inspired by transparent storytelling while being ignited with confidence from the inside out for you to fulfill your own purposeful connections and to share with others. Because as we know, when you tell your story, you never know how someone will be inspired by your transparency. So speaking of transparency, I have a segment that is called Trans. So trans is short for transparent moment. So put in the chat if you have ever had to cuss your own self out or just give yourself a strong talking to get your mind right. Put one in the chat if you've ever had to do that for yourself. One in the chat. So while y'all just sitting there watching me, this week I had to do that for myself. Like, I literally got in the mirror, because before I can talk to people and really, she said every day. I know that's right. And I'm starting you, but you know what? I'm glad you said every day, because I'm finding that it seems like each week, you too, I know that's right, Love Lock. For whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's because as we get older, it's so much going on in our heads. But I've been finding, like, in the last 3 weeks, like every week, but this week, it was a different kind of week. Like, I was really on some talking back, like, what's wrong with you? Why you not doing what you said you was gonna do? Now, it's no reason. So, I mean, I was on it to the point, I looked at myself, so like, what's holding you up? So you need to do this. So I wound up doing whatever it is that I said I was gonna do. Went into my office, started writing it down. The next day, I was on it. So anyway, I think those are great moments. I think when we are getting on ourselves, it's a part of us. For me, it's a little tough love, but also being gentle with myself in the process. Like, it's okay. Like, just do better each and every day, and you're gonna be perfectly fine. So anyway, I look forward to talking to our next guest today to see if she's had those moments in her journey. Just, pulling your own self together, because we need it from time to time. So up next, I have a very, very special guest. And she's very special because, y'all gonna be like, all your guests are special. They are. But this one is very, very special because we actually grew up together. And a lot of times, people go their own separate ways when you grow up, like literally in the same neighborhood. Like, we grew up in community. So for her and I to still be connected, 30 years later, because like we were probably 5, 6, 30 years later and still connected, like, I think that's such a beautiful thing. So she's going to introduce herself and we just going to get this thing going and vibe out. Let's see. Is Ray B, photographer extraordinaire, educator, just all those great attributes that she gives to the world. What's up, Ray B?
What's up?
How
Thank you so much. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I am so excited. I'm so excited.
You're very welcome. So tell us a little bit about you and your photography, because if people don't see it, it's Ray B Photography. So what inspired you really to get into photography?
So I've always just loved taking photos, with your camera and stuff like that. And it was probably around winter time, 2016, 2017. And me and my wife were just sitting in the bed, and I had the money to buy it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy me a camera. I'm gonna buy me a camera. And one thing about me, like, I'll do for others, but when it comes to me, I'm always hesitant to like press go. And so she was just like, just go ahead and do it. So I just went ahead and did it, bought the camera, got the camera, and just like started shooting. And that's the start. Like, literally bought a camera, picked it up, and press go.
What was going on before you were in the bed wintertime? Like, let me get this camera. Like, you, when you were little, did hey, do you remember this? Like, in elementary school, did you have the portable camera? Like
Yes.
yeah, were you one of
Yeah.
those?
Yeah, definitely,
Really?
for sure. Especially when I was in college, me and my college roommates, I was always the one with the little portable disposable camera, and me and my roommate, we would go into Walgreens, go get them disposed, that whole deal. And just as you grow, you kind of fall away from it. But I was like, I'm just interested in arts, period. And photography, was one of those arts that just like resonated with me and connected with me. So I was just like,
How so? How did it?
I just think like it's a beautiful moment. Like, you capture a moment. You know what I mean? And the beautiful thing about photography is you can have 5 photographers in the same setting with
Ooh,
the same model, and each picture is going to be different. Each
right.
picture is going to tell a different story. That image is going to be created in a different way. And I think that's just the beautiful thing about it. And, I love museums, going to museums. And I was just like, I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? So I bought the camera, and literally I started out just shooting outside, shooting anything.
Yeah.
Stop signs, ice, snow, like it
So
didn't
you're
matter.
self-taught. You self-taught.
Yeah, self-taught.
Freelance.
Yeah, self-taught. No training at all. No lessons. YouTube University. you know.
Right.
And just
I'm a member too.
right. um, just connecting with people that I come across, and just studying here and there, picking up different skills and stuff like that. So
Look, y'all, put in the chat if you are a part of YouTube University. Put one in the chat if you are a part of that university as
listen,
well.
I'm talking about the freest university. You know what I mean? The
Right.
best. It's such a wonderful resource and a platform to learn any and everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm the same way. I was looking for just transitioning from careers, and just the industry, the market had changed so drastically. I see the ones. I see the ones. Very good. Very good. And I was like, yo, like, it teaches you everything. And I was a little green to it. Like, I literally just got really into YouTube University. My goddaughter, she told me, she was like, Gma, it's everything on there. But I didn't really think too much of it until I really needed to use it as a resource. And I was really
Yeah.
mind blown, like, dang, everything that you can think of is right here.
It's right there.
Right here.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. It was something that I was gonna say when you were speaking about just how the different photographers, it can be maybe 5 of you all, but you all get a different story that's being told.
Yeah.
Where do your concepts come from when you're doing your shoots? Like,
you know what? Honestly, I love being Black. I love Black people. I love, and I think it's especially in today's climate and culture, there's just not enough imagery being broadcast like it should. You always get the negative things,
absolutely.
the killings and the police arrests and the drug addiction and all of that. That's broadcasted heavily, but just really changing that narrative. So I just, honestly, I'm on Pinterest a lot, and just with my friends, and I just look at their style and their vibes, and I'm just like, oh, that'll be a great concept. Just like, remember the one that we did?
Yeah.
I just wanted to vibe with y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to practice studio lighting. So I'm like, let me, grab some people. So that's pretty much how it goes. I may think of a concept or something that I want to do. I write it down, trying to get better with that, because I have a lot of ideas here, right? But when you really write it down, you can really see
Execute.
it. Yeah,
So you
execute.
found for a while sometimes you would have so much in your head and you didn't
Yeah,
manifest it.
absolutely. Didn't manifest it. And my wife was just like, you should start writing it down.
Hmm.
You have great ideas, but you need to write it down. And when you write it down, execute,
Yeah.
execute, execute, execute. You know what I'm saying? So those just how I come up with a concept. I just think of something that's just resonating with me or in my mind or in my spirit. And then, I create like a little mood board for it, find the subjects that I want to shoot and go for it.
For those that don't know what a moon board is, what is that?
So basically, it's a like I use Pinterest a lot,
Yeah.
so I go on there and I look for what I'm looking for. Say if I'm looking for a '70s theme shoot, right? I
Hmm.
look for like '70s like clothing, the aesthetics,
Vintage.
the
Yeah.
colors. You know what I'm saying? And I put like different images and things together or color palette together.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and I use it, or you can do it with Instagram as well.
Oh, really?
You can
Oh,
save
yeah,
like
yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
boards.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I have like different poses or different feels from other type of creatives that I want to, uh, take that and make it my own, adapt it, things like that. So that's what like a mood board is, and just like your concept of what you want to do.
When you were talking a few moments ago, I thought about when you were saying, your wife was like, write it down, write it down. Instantly, what came in my head is write the vision and make it plain.
Absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
I can resonate with that because upstairs I have notebooks. I'm talking about 2012.
Wow.
2012 of things that I have written down, and everything is kind of coming full circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we'll write
Absolutely.
things down, but we don't execute it. And that's like,
Mm-hmm.
you got all this, so use it, you
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
And I'm finding that now for me, I am just now utilizing or really tapping into what I have written down,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. And this makes me think about it's this. I love how in your pictures, your captions underneath, like sometimes you have like the dopest like captions underneath. And one thing that stood out to me, because I feel this now, when I discover who I am, I'll be free.
Mm.
And that's kind of like how I'm feeling in this season in my life. Can you
Absolutely.
resonate with that, with your creativity?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Like I just at that moment when I was shooting with my friend, shout out to the wonderful Teach.
Hey.
Um, we were shooting with him, and it's always a great vibe with him, Brantley. And we just connected one day. I was looking for a male model, and so we've been shooting for a couple of years now. And that particular, like, it was just a beautiful moment. And I was thinking about me, like as being a creative and just being a person overall. Um, when you really understand who you are, you'll be free. And I think it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh snap! Like, yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
And it just ties so much into really walking in your purpose,
Right.
finding who you are, and once that happens, you're unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer kept inside this box of what the world thinks you should be, or these norms or whatever that the world and the society has put on you. But when you really understand who you are, then you're going to be free. And I was just like, oh man,
When did you tap into your freedom? Like when did you?
oh, you know what? Honestly, to be 100% honest, I'm still tapping in. I'm not always, I'm not there yet,
Yeah.
but I think like this year, my mindset is different when it comes
Mm,
to shooting and photography. Like you always, if you're doing work, and of course you want to get paid off of it, right?
right, right.
But if that's your only mindset, it kind of sucks up the creative process. And like,
Absolutely.
you for me, that's what it
Absolutely.
was doing. Like I was just chasing the money, or chasing the client. Like, okay, I want to get paid, or
Right, right,
you know what
right.
I mean? Like, promoting yourself. Like I want people to book me, book me, book me. But then it starts to suck you dry creatively, and then for me, I started to begin not to like really enjoy the process. So I had to take a step back and just change my mindset and just you know go within wholeheartedly with my heart and my mind and my vision everything else will follow. And I'm just loving, the process now. Once the pandemic hit, everything just kind of slowed down, right?
Okay.
But it was a beautiful process, though. It
What
was
kept you
great.
going during the pandemic?
Just being able to be creative, like think and like really sit down. Okay, what is it that I want to shoot, right? And not being able to be like forced into like, okay, I got a studio because a lot of studios were down,
Right.
right? So
Oh,
like,
thinking
okay,
outside the box. Like
thinking
truly
outside the box,
being a
yeah,
creative and being resourceful.
exactly. Thinking outside the box. I started doing like shoots via the Instagram, me and my homegirl, or via your phone, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like FaceTime stuff. Like it was just so much, and I was just like, okay,
Now how
like
y'all do
this is
that?
what
How
so basically just like we're doing right now, I
okay.
would tell her to move and I would do like a little screenshot. And then I would edit it up, you know what I'm saying?
How cute.
I did it was yeah, it was pretty dope. And I joined like a class of my one of my people that I follow. She was doing a class and she had
Yeah.
a model and was via on the computer, and like same thing, she will walk you through steps on how to like do a screenshot. We take that and we edit it and we kind of like
Wow.
continue that. So yeah, it
So
really
you was
forced
able
me
to
to.
pivot in the
Yeah,
pandemic for sure.
absolutely, absolutely. And then when things started to open up, I started to become a lot better with my creative like vision and what I wanted to shoot, where I wanted to shoot. Really taking that time in to learn different things, lighting, poses, things like that. So when things start to lighten up a little bit more and start to shoot a little bit more, it really like I took those things and I was able to add and able to really see the growth. So it's been great,
What
and like I said, this season
uh-huh.
I'm really feeling like creative. I'm not worried about if people book me, whether I get paid or whether the revenue is up, or I'm not worried
Own
about
it,
it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
I'm not.
I have like each year I have like a word that is I don't know where it came from. It's just like last year my word was beyond. And this
Mhm.
year my word is alignment. So what would you say your word is? Beyond creative. What would you say your word is for this year, for 2022?
Execute.
Oh, girl, that's not girl. I'm with yes. I'm with it.
Execute.
I'm with it.
Execute. And even if it's not the physical aspect of taking a photo, right? Just
Yes.
executing the vision, executing my mind, executing the discipline, whatever it is that I'm doing, execute. You know what I'm saying? Like writing things down, write it down. And then, okay, I make sure after I write it down, just don't close the book. Next, what am I going to do with it?
Next, what's
Start
the
to tap in.
strategy to it?
Yeah, what's the strategy? Write it down. Okay, I need to contact this person. I have a model in mind that I want to use.
Uh-huh.
Let me contact this person. Or, oh man, I saw this fly place. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me go check it out. Let me see what I can do with this area. You know what I'm saying? So really just executing like
Right.
and going hard.
I follow this well, ET the hip hop preacher, top motivational speaker in the world, and one of his like quotes is execution is worship.
Mm.
So when you said that, I'm like, yes, I'm surprised
Mm-hmm.
that's not my word because execute, like we can have all the creativity in the world and all these ideas. And like I said, 2000, I'm going back 2012, literally everything that I wrote down then, I'm doing it now, but I didn't
Yeah.
execute in the way that I'm executing now. Do you
Right.
find that as a creative, we are we're so creative that our mind goes everywhere and we don't stick to certain things?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. For
Anybody
sure.
in the chat, can y'all agree with that? Press two if you can agree with if you're creative and your mind is going everywhere and you're not executing.
I
um
think that's why it's so important, especially for me, um, just to write it down so I can really see it and I don't forget it. And then it'll force me to be like, okay, you wrote this down now. Now you need to do it.
Hold you
You know what I'm
accountable.
saying?
Two, I
Yeah,
see two in the chat. Very good, very good. I know that we're talking about your artistry, as a photographer, but I also know that you're an educator. Do you pair the two together, or is it just two
absolutely.
separate lives?
They used to be two separate lives. I just had the photography side and I had the education side. But I'm really learning to bridge that creative mindset with my kids. I teach special education autism class, second and third grade,
Okay.
and my kids are wonderful, man. They are so wonderful, and they're so just brilliant. And if you just let them be, you get to see like what their little things are, their little nuances are. So I have one who loves singing. He comes in every morning singing
Got a
some
song
type
in
of
his heart.
song. Yes, always.
I
And
love
like
it.
just really like rapping. Like the other morning he was rapping Trixie like by Run DMC. Like you know what I mean?
Got a little
Yes.
old song on them.
Yes, right. So what I do is instead of like just shutting them down, we hype them up. We hype them up like yeah. We
Mm.
start jamming with them. Letting them know like it's okay to be you. If you like a song, if you like to dance, let's dance it out. Let's have a little brain break. Let's dance it out. You want to sing? We're gonna join in with you. We're gonna sing.
Oh wow, so you really create freedom of expression in your classroom.
Absolutely. I think it's very important, especially at that age, second and third. You're 6, you're 7 and 8, 9 years old. I think it's a beautiful thing to really just open that creative mind.
Yeah.
'Cause that's where you start to learn yourself and grow. Okay, what is I like? I'm good at drawing. I have a wonderful student. He's amazing at drawing. Can draw the solar system like you never believe it. Look at a picture
Really?
one time and redraw it. Yeah, beautiful. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? We really try to just foster that in the classroom.
Do you take a
I would
lot
have
of
to do
time to foster their creativity more than like the educational component?
absolutely, absolutely. It's a fine line between balance, but we love it. My team in there, and we all support it. And I was just thinking, like, I need to get permission from my parents, of course, but like bringing my camera in, creating like
Mm.
a little photo book, because sometimes what usually
Ooh.
happens um, with like the special education
Yeah.
realm and those classes were not highlighted a lot in the yearbook, so
Hmm.
to speak. Um, but I want to give my parents something that's personal
And
for their
memorable.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
So
memorable.
see all the great things that we're doing in the class, when they're collaborating with each other or when we dancing, having dance parties, stuff like
Yeah.
that, or just when they're working diligently, you know what I mean? So I start bring my camera in, start taking pictures of them and like create like a little book.
Yeah, somebody said in the chat that's the best way to keep their attention. That's very true. You're
Absolutely.
keeping their attention as well as creating memories where these kids will never forget at all.
They're engaged.
Yeah, and you just said a book. So I know offline, I don't know if you remember me ever saying this to you, but
Yes.
I am still waiting on that. And I
Yeah.
know it'll happen whenever
Yeah.
it's supposed to happen, but when I look at your photography, like you said, it's a depiction of black joy, black culture, black life, like very vibrant energy when I see your your photos. Like I said, it's just the aesthetics, the story, and I can truly see your your portfolio on my coffee table in my
Yeah.
house when guests come up. Oh, who is that? Oh, that's Ray B. That's Ray B. Check
Right.
that out. Go to page 7. Look at that one.
Right. Yeah. Listen, I haven't forgotten about that either. And when you just said it, I'm like, yeah, I already know what you're talking about, the coffee book idea. And I think back then, when you mentioned it to me,
Yeah.
right, I didn't feel like I had enough great images,
Mm.
right? You know what I'm saying? And it's so hard as a creative. You are your biggest critic. And I think that just goes without saying with
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
You're
And
your
but
biggest critic.
we see we're hard. We're our worst critic. But when others see you, like for me, I was just like, Ray is dope. Like
I appreciate that.
when you're capturing your shots, like you in a whole nother zone. Like honestly, I've never, and I've known you since we were children. I've never seen you zone in and vibe the way that you do when you're behind that camera. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I want a book.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it takes you there. Like you forget about everything else. You forget about not being the best. You forget about not having the followers or the views, and that's just what you want to do. That's what I want to shoot. I'm in that moment.
You in your
We're gonna
happy
shoot.
place.
We're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna vibe out, listen to some music, dance. You know what I'm saying, and just create magic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What would you tell your 17-year-old self?
Ooh. Um.
Curveball.
Right. What would I tell myself? Believe in yourself.
Mm.
Believe in yourself
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Um, which I'm still learning today
Right.
at 37. Believe in yourself.
What's the
Um,
hardest part about believing in yourself, even at 37?
um, just not thinking like having that imposter syndrome and
Mm.
comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. And I
You know what
and
I'm
I
saying? 'Cause,
think go I'm sorry, please go ahead. I'm so sorry.
um, I was just saying like it's hard because of course your worth and you great. Like I know I'm a great photographer, right? Um, but it's a level that I aspire to get to that I see others on. I'm like, oh, their work is dope. Like what I'm saying, I, yeah, I want to get to that level, but I'm already at that level. I could be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the outside looking in, everybody else sees me like, all right, like you're good. Like,
You're great.
you really, yeah, you create beautiful images. And I'm starting to really see that, like, I do.
Yeah.
So I'm really starting to believe in myself. So even my 17-year-old self back then, I'd tell myself, believe in yourself for sure.
For sure, for sure. I think, like you said, we're so inundated with technology in our faces, in our hands, that, like you said, we'll see another artist doing their thing, and it's like, and it's not a jealousy, it's an admiration, like, oh,
Yeah,
they fine with it, and you desire that as well. And I can say for me, I'm with you. I'm looking at a mirror when you're talking, because I feel the exact same way. And it's something that you actually put on your page. You are only the competition with you're only in competition with yourself. And
absolutely.
that's where I'm at with my own creativity. Like, I can't compare my life to anyone else's. Your
Yeah,
journey is your journey. My journey is mine. We'll get to our destinations at our appointed time.
absolutely.
But I find myself being very gentle with my creativity and just taking it easy. Like,
Yeah,
you do your thing. You're
yeah,
great.
yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Keep
it's
going.
I find myself doing a lot of affirmations. Do you do affirmations for yourself?
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, heavy into that because
Yeah.
I think it makes me like for real be gentle with myself and get
Mm,
out of that comparison mode. You know what I'm saying? Like how dare I pick up a camera at 2017, know nothing about it, and think I'm gonna be or shoot at the level that whoever I'm aspiring at that
right.
moment. It's like
Right.
don't do that to yourself. You know
Right.
what I mean? Don't do that. Like take it easy. And now what I'm tending to do is I'm looking at my images now versus when I started, and man, the growth
You
is just
see it. You see
phenomenal.
it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Y'all
Yeah.
put in the chat an affirmation that you say quite frequently. Whatever that is, put it in the chat. Just because you never know, somebody might need to hear that or affirm their own selves. Put that in the chat. I like how you said you go back and look at how far you've come. And I can say that I mean, of course I am an artist, but not creatively like you, as a photographer. But I do find myself going back to my journals
Mhm.
sometimes and see the personal growth, because I'm all about, I can go, oh, excuse me, I can do hard thing. Oh, I like that. I can do hard.
Yeah, me too.
I like
That's
that.
crazy. I have a quote in my room, and it says, "Everything new is hard at first." And I tell my kids that all the time, and I look
I
at
like
it
that.
for myself. Everything new is hard at first. At first, you know what I'm saying? You keep doing it, it's gonna become second nature, and it's gonna get easier and easier. Or
Absolutely.
you get more comfortable with it, shall I say. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Somebody said, speak those things as though they were. I know that's right. Speak it like it's already done. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
Mine's is actually I'm committed to my greatness in the totality of my life. I know I'm extra and deep, but I was talking to somebody and it just came to me because I'm committed to being the best version of myself.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be hard at times, but I'm committed to it because I'm my
Absolutely.
competition.
Yep.
It's me for me every time.
Yeah.
You press them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 There is something. What? That's what it was. What is one of your most memorable shots to date?
Um.
Like, what stands out to you?
Um.
And I mean, it doesn't
Oh
have to be
no.
anything outrageous. Like I can tell you, honestly, I've had a photo shoot. Um, and the first one actually stood out to me because I just did something different.
Yeah.
And that's what made it so
Yeah.
memorable. Like, I stepped off the box.
Um. You know what? I think probably the one I did with y'all. Shout out to Chrissy. Because that was just for real awesome. I just want to vibe. You know what I mean? Completely nothing like set in stone. It wasn't anything predetermined.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that, and the one I just did with my friend Brantley Simmons, the wonderful teach. Um, just having him and his family
Mm-hmm.
there, and during the time we were shooting, his son, he really didn't feel like participating and whatever. So they were speaking to him, he kind of got sad and he started to cry, and so his Brantley, he called him over and like they were hugging it out. And Don, when I say it was a
Mm.
beautiful
You didn't
moment.
capture that?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Go check it out. I got some images on my page now. The last couple of ones that I've been posting, is him hugging his son, and it was just a beautiful thing because it was just so unplanned, unrehearsed. Um, not a structured shot or
Yeah.
a pose. You know what I'm saying? It was just a beautiful
Free.
moment. I was just like, oh, I gotta get this. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a moment between father and son, especially black father and son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
we
was
need a lot of that because I know growing up, I didn't see a lot of black imagery of father and son. So I
yeah.
know I can see a difference from when we grew up in the 90s versus now. Like our black men, they're very involved in their
Oh
children's
yeah.
lives. And I love
Yeah.
to see people capture that moment because those little boys, especially, like my daddy, he was there looking at me and my dad. It's like a sense of pride that I
Yeah.
see, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
That's
For
awesome.
sure.
That is very
Yeah.
awesome. Um, it was something else I was going to say about just the concepts that you create. Um, what would you say you want your legacy to be in photography?
Um, just creating the essence of love,
Mm,
um, and just beautiful memories that when you see it, it
right.
immediately takes you back to that moment. You know what I'm saying? You look at that and you be like, oh, just with songs, you know how songs do. You
Right.
hear a
That's
song,
true. That's true.
it snap you back to like, oh, I was here, 97
Right.
in the
Take you to that
stairwell.
feel.
Right, a good feel. That's what I think. That's what I want my legacy and my images, over time to project. Like it takes you back to that moment, that memory that that it created at that time, and it'll forever live on. You know what I'm saying? And then when your kids looking at that, oh, let me tell you about this story. Let me tell you how this is where we were at. You know what I
Do
mean?
you
And it's
have that for your life? Like a picture that you think, like, wow, I remember that. I still hold on to that moment. That moment makes me feel good.
yeah, oh yeah. Early pictures of me. Matter of fact,
Tell it.
this
Tell
is
it. I saw the
crazy.
light bulb go off. What is it?
There is a photo of me, you, Erica,
Oh,
Latina, God rest her soul.
right.
Um, it was I think it was like my 8th birthday or something. We was in my house and we were crying around like a table. I gotta show you this photo, man. Um, but Natina and Naisha, her
Naisha,
sister,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. God rest both of their souls, actually.
yeah, yeah. When I see it, I immediately like, dang, I remember that day out there having fun in the cul-de-sac as always,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
stuff like
We,
that. And then now with me and my wife, we travel a lot. That's our thing, is
yeah.
traveling. So when I look back at certain pictures, I'm like, oh, I
Take
remember
me
that. I
back.
remember the moment. I remember what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so I definitely have photos like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now I'm over here thinking like, what's my most memorable? That it's tough because when you were talking, I have always I've been like you. I'm not a professional photographer, but I've always enjoyed capturing the moments in life. Like wherever
Yeah.
I go, like to the point I remember being at Chapel Hill Elementary, 2nd grade, last day of school. I was like, Mom, we gotta go to Eckerd. Like, we're the
Ooh,
season to say Eckerd because the Eckerds don't even exist no more. But I was like, we
they
gotta go to
don't.
Eckerd. I gotta get a disposable camera. But I remember um for whatever, just the importance of capturing the moments in life, even as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think in society now, everybody they just take pictures just to kind of be cute to post. But for me personally, I just love to remember moments in life. And I have so many to the point like I have, we used to have the little albums. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have plenty of those. Like
Yeah.
even like one of my birthdays, I went skating and you were there. Like I have all of that. Like
Oh
if I was
man.
like a not so good person and I didn't really like you, because we done had our growing spurts or whatever. But I can blackmail some folks because I'm like, you weren't
Ooh.
really, you can humble yourself now.
Right, right. Some
But I really
throwbacks.
enjoy I don't know, capturing pictures. But I honestly cannot think of a picture. Ah, you know what? Yes, I can. I can. It's a picture, it's a portrait of me, my great grandmother, my grandmother, and my mom.
Mm.
Like, I won't ever forget that moment because, like you said, it wasn't planned, but I do remember saying like all of us are here. It was my graduation of high school, and they came down from DC, and we weren't coordinating like that, but just to capture the legacy in one
Yeah.
picture. And I don't think we ever had an opportunity to capture that moment again. So I would say that's my most memorable moment in a picture that makes me kind of go back.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's what it's about.
yeah,
That's what it's about. You know what
for
I mean?
sure.
And you don't have to have the top latest gear or the hottest
Talk
camera,
about
or
that. Talk
you know
about
what I'm
that.
saying? And see, that's the thing about being in photography, like, and started out and looking at others to aspire,
Hmm.
and get inspiration from. Like, you see all the lights and all the gear, like, dang, I need this, I need that, I ain't got this, I ain't got that, like,
Right.
but you don't need it.
Yeah. And I think
You
we talk
don't need
ourselves
it.
out of stuff because I don't have this, I don't have it. Well, let me wait. I'm gonna do that
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that later.
Yeah.
I was like that.
And then
Like
you waiting and you waiting and waiting, and you never do it.
straight up. Like I was telling my mom, I've gotten to a point because as a creative, we are hard on ourselves and we want things to be a certain way. And just transparent moment, like my doses of Dawn, the podcast, a dot, there I'm learning to like take clips of like even what we'll do and repost it. And so I posted a video maybe yesterday. I didn't like the sound quality. The old Dawn, I wouldn't have done it. Oh, it has to be perfect. Everything got to
Perfect.
be to the T. But I'm
Oh,
to the point like I'm just gonna do it. Like
yeah.
like how you said, you look back at your photos and how you've progressed. And that's our journey.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you start the process, that's all that matters. Whether you have all the expensive equipment, we all have everything we need to start what
Yeah.
we want to do.
Absolutely. So lately I've been getting into film photography,
Oh,
like with 35 millimeters. I got an old school camera that I just got from an antique shop one day. It cost me about like 50, $70,
oh,
right?
that's what's up.
Um, yeah, so I've been really getting into that. And the thing about that is, one, like with a digital camera, you can see on your
Mhm.
LCD screen in the back, you can see the images as soon as you take it.
Right.
But with film, you can't until you develop it. And I think that is, for me, that's been such a huge game changer because it allows me to be in that moment, to really set it up and to slow down. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, you can have all the settings right, and when you develop it, it's still not perfect. So the last shot I just posted on my Instagram,
Uh-huh.
that that orange that's kind of like coming
Yeah,
across his face,
I love
that
that.
wasn't planned. That wasn't planned at all. What happened was it was a light leak. So sometimes light leaks into the roll or when it's being developed, and so it creates that type of photo.
That was
And
fire.
like you said, the old me, because I'm a Virgo by nature, like everything kind of has to be perfect. And I'm learning to get out of that space. I probably wouldn't have posted it 'cause I'm like, it's not, clear, but now I'm starting to see from a different view and from a different
Mm.
lens. Like everything doesn't need to be perfect. Like this is still a beautiful image, even with the orange coming across his face like that. You can
That's
really see
actually
his
what makes
eye.
it more beautiful to me, just knowing exactly what you're
Exactly.
talking about, the contrast and the pictures
Exactly.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm learning to be okay with not so perfect images or things being perfect, and even with teaching, like teaching is like I live in that world. I want it to be perfect, right? But realistically, it's not going to be, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I just have to learn to adapt and to pivot and to move and adjust in the moment. So
All right. Well, I've enjoyed this. Like listening to you, I'm just taking in a lot of the nuggets that you're saying and just even talking. I'm like, I just feel growth. I feel like after talking to you, I just want to constantly, pivot and just grow within myself and just be easy and gentle. Like that's what I'm getting from you. Like just being gentle, doing what you do. It's going to happen. It's going to manifest. And I can appreciate and I thank you for even sharing those nuggets.
no, I appreciate you for real. I shared with you that album, Natalie Lauren Sims.
Oh, I thought, girl, I'm over
Um,
here talking about your book album. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh
oh,
yes, yes, when it's coming.
um,
Okay, we talking about
and,
somebody else. Go ahead.
um, her album is called, I think, Handle with Care. Yeah, that's what it's
Hmm.
called. And that song that I shared with her is called God Morning. And
It's
and
called
there's
God Who?
God Morning
You said
and
warning?
morning, like
Morning.
morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, the connection. Okay.
And there's a line where she's just like, "Be gentle with yourself." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Ooh." When I first heard it, I was like, "Oh, okay." Be gentle with yourself. So you got to be gentle with yourself in everything that you do.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the ending nugget because that's it. I like I said, you provoked that out of me in this conversation, just being more gentle to myself. Um, there were two ladies at two separate occasions in my life. I asked, 'cause I'm always just curious to asking people a whole bunch of questions because I like learning from them. And I asked them, and I was in my mid-20s. I said, "What would you tell your 25-year-old self?" And they were like in their 40s. And she was saying both of them said, "Be gentle to yourself." So I think that's my biggest takeaway and reminder from this dialogue, to be gentle to yourself
Yeah,
for sure. Do you have
for
any more
sure.
lasting words, a dose of Raven before we leave up on out of here? Because you've been
um,
dropping a lot of wisdom for sure.
no, I appreciate that. I just want to say, I just thank anybody that's ever supported me. You shared, you viewed, you booked with me, you commented. You know what I'm saying? Any type of support, man. I appreciate y'all. I just put out a calendar of different shots for like 22. Um, of different places that we've traveled and stuff like that. Anybody who's bought anything, man, I appreciate y'all. I really, really do.
That's
The
what's up.
support is love, man. It's so appreciated.
All right. Well, I thank you for your time and, like I said, dropping your jewels and wisdom and your just artistic flow and how you create and have your mood boards and your YouTube university and how everything can
Right.
just come together. So I appreciate you sharing your experience and your time with us. And so I thank you. I thank
Nah,
you. I
thank
thank
you.
you. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Oh,
I'm so proud of you. Like
thank
y'all don't know. Like we for real go back
you. Thank
five,
you.
6.
Thank you.
So just to see the growth, and it's a beautiful thing.
Thank
So
you.
keep doing what you're doing, Don.
Hey. I couldn't help not being corny, but thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. All right. Well, I'll see you in the DMs and on your stories.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right.
And if y'all don't follow me now, go ahead and follow me, Ray B Photography. Appreciate it.
Pull down at the top and you can just follow her just like that. Oh, follow. There you have it.
Appreciate y'all.
All righty. Well, I'm going to end this episode with highlighting being gentle to yourself. Being gentle with yourself with all that you do, all that you say, because like Raven said, we are so hard on ourselves, especially as creatives, that we'll hold up our own greatness. So whatever it is that you want to pursue, do it. It does not have to be perfect. Like we really get caught up in, oh well, it has to be this, it has to be that, everything has to line up perfectly. But when is really the right time? When is the right time? Because even when people have children, they like, I wasn't ready, but I had to do what I had to do. Yeah, it's just do it. Live your life to the fullest. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but as long as you are putting forth all your effort in pursuing what it is you are created here to do that. And I'm gonna end with this. Like, I don't know if people have seen a post that I put up, but it ties in with what I'm saying, just doing it. I met a guy this Wednesday. He's the security guard at my local grocery store. And so anyway, he's always very kind. So me being who I am, I'm just like, I appreciate your energy. You always kind. You in a better mood today because I done been there a couple of times and he won himself. So the fact that I recognize his shift in his energy. So once I cashed out, he kind of stood to the side because I knew he wanted to talk to me. So as we were talking, I was like, what's your name? So he told me his name. And as we began to talk even more, he started referencing his spiritual advisor, his pastor, and just talking about a book that he wrote or she wrote. And so within him talking about his minister's book, I was like, and he mentioned his book. And I was like, so when you gonna write your book? He was like, well, I don't have the time right now. Now, mind you, he done told me he's 62 years old. He done had a heart attack 2 years ago, and he's just so grateful to God that he's here. And I said, so when you gonna write your book? I said, you're talking about your past and what they've done. What about you? And so he was like, wow, he was like, you tough. I was like, but I'm talking to you how I would talk to myself. And I said, what are you waiting on? I said, you're 62. I said, while you walking around the store, you can be putting in your memo, hey, when I was such and such, I had this heart attack and I felt like da 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 da. I said, because you never know how that book will encourage somebody else. And I'm saying all that to say, like I said to him, I said, it's a cemetery full of people that had books and businesses and ideas, but they never fulfilled them. So I'm saying all that to say, don't allow yourself to hold you up from your greatness. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, or if you feel led to do it. Do it crazy, do it rough, do it where it's not perfect. We can't get caught up in having this picture perfect image. Now I look cute, because I know people like, well, you look all put together, but I'm doing stuff anyway. I don't have a background that I want. I don't have a lot of things that I don't have a mic. I don't care. So you should not care about having things picture perfect just to show up in the world, your authentic self. And truth be told, when you show up authentically, people respect you. Like, salute to you. I seen the grow. I seen the glow up. So don't hold yourself back by having excuses, pretty much. Like, excuses is whack. Like, we gotta tighten up and show up in this world, because the way you show up for yourself is going to inspire somebody else to show up authentically. I'm not, am I preaching, girl? I ain't trying to preach. You know, I'm just for real. Like, we're hard on ourselves, but us being hard on ourselves is stopping us, as well as stopping someone else from really seeing their greatness. Like, dang, I seen Nicole do that. I seen Dawn do that. If she can do it, I can do it. You doggone right you can do it. Don't let anybody stop you, especially yourself. So anyway, I'm going to end with that. Be gentle with yourself, but also show up in this world authentically, being you, and watch how things will just manifest, and you're going to build even more confidence in who you are, what you are, and why you're placed this time in earth to show up. So anyway, this has been a Dose of Dawn podcast, aka Adon. So I will see you all next week. I have another special guest coming, and I'll just give y'all a hint. If you a smoker, you might want to tune in. I ain't a smoker, but she gonna school y'all on some stuff. But anyway, whatever you do in your life, remember also to sprinkle your sunshine in the world. So peace. This is Dawn. I'm out.